Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It's Thursday morning, March 25th, 2021. The man they call Meathead. Bringing in Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Top of the morning to you, Mr.
Whoa,
Meathead.
whoa, you got all excited there. All right, slow down, buddy. If you're hot, say you're hot. Let's talk about our sponsors real quick. Let's talk about our sponsors real quick. According to David the Zohan Hero, you want to keep yourself silky smooth, you want to use manscaped.com. Promo code PWR, get you 20% off. There's free shipping there. Trim your winter fro off your balls and get silky smooth with manscaped.com. Plus, I'm rocking, what am I rocking today? I'm rocking one of my collar and elbow shirts. I don't feel like looking at it, but collarandelbowbrand.com, 10% off with PWR 360. Oh, you know what it is? It's my mirror hoodie. That's what it is. I forgot. Save yourself 10% with PWR 360. There's also Uncle Al's got some free shipping going on if you're ordering $40 or more worth of content. So get on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. Lots of good stuff over there, including Buenos Hermanos and so much more. Matthew, good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's always an interesting show here after such 4 hours of wrestling that we watched last night.
Wednesday night's got a lot of wrestling content. I mean, there is. We don't need to go wax, poetic on this, but there is so much wrestling action happening during the week. NWA, Power. I mean, MLW, Major League Wrestling, all that stuff is going on, all week long. Impact, WWE, AEW, NXT, all of it. Let's talk news first. The Peacock is moving all the WWE content over. They're not done. They're going to take a long time to get it done. But what they are doing is they're running it through standards and practices, and apparently they're doing a bunch of editing. The Peacock has apparently removed Piper versus Bad News Brown because Piper was half black and that he painted himself. And literally, if you go back and listen to interviews, he painted himself half black. They also are censoring stuff like Vince McMahon calling Booker T the N-word, which, again, it wasn't right when it happened. It wasn't right a year ago. It wasn't right today. However, will cancel culture have standards and practices going through each one of these matches with a fine-tooth comb and cleaning out what they don't find acceptable anymore?
I think you're going to see some very blatant in-your-face stuff like that's scrubbed. If they get to a point where they're actually going through, the individual commentary lines like we had talked about earlier, you go back and you look at some of Heenan's commentary, you look at,
hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Yeah, just stuff that was part.
It's just not appropriate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I know they got people to do that, but my goodness, I don't know that you're going to have everybody.
NBC.
Yeah, sift through hours upon hours of commentary, but I think you're certainly going to see some stuff removed, and it's part of the process. I mean, this is not the WWE Network anymore. This is content that NBC has paid the WWE for and paid them a pretty penny. And I know we're still in the very, very infancy of, the merger over to Peacock, but there is not due to any of the standards and practices stuff, but just due to lack of time. There is so much stuff that has not been converted over as of yet. So it's just,
I think it's related to both of it, to be honest with you, because there's so much. I think they got the interns on it.
Yeah, it's very possible.
All right, kid, you got WCW year 2000. Go.
My
and they're
goodness,
going through Nitros, Thunders, Saturday nights.
What's ECW? What's the guy in charge of going through ECW going to think?
I don't know. Maybe that's where New Jack works now. He works at NBC Standards and Practices.
I think that's very unlikely.
Yeah, I do too. Let's talk more WWE news. Thunderdome. Oh, is moving. No longer in the Tropicana field. It was one of those things like you got to hurry up and clean the house before your parents get home. WWE had to get out of the Tropicana field because the Tampa Bay Rays are on their way home to start their Major League Baseball season. So they've taken over the Youngling Center, and they're going to be starting up there. It looks like with April 12th's Raw. So my guess is they're going to be recording a couple of them. And they'll probably go back to live on April 12th, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern on the USA Network. Matthew, it was time. This is the home of South Florida University, and it's one of their biggest buildings in the Tampa area, staying in Tampa. Your thoughts on moving the Thunderdome?
Should they just go to Universal? Is that the best solution? Should they just go to Universal? I don't remember a company that used to film there.
The Universal building wouldn't work when they filmed Impact there. It honestly was a soundstage.
Yeah,
and it would look
small.
like the Performance Center again.
It was small. And that's the thing with with the Thunderdome when they went into the stadium, I thought there was going to be a dramatic difference as far as what it looked like in Amway, and you really with those monitors and that setup, it's almost interchangeable. So I think visually it's probably going to look very similar to what you're getting right now.
Yeah, and the pictures that we got out there of the Thunderdome, we've gotten drone cameras. We've seen more of it on pay-per-views now of the drone cameras, different camera angles. I think right now Thunderdome's working. The hope is that they can get back to the road again, start doing house shows, start getting people in for Raws and SmackDowns and NXT shows. They have some people showing up for NXT over at the Capitol Wrestling Center, so we'll have to see how that works out. We've got one more bit of WWE news. A couple names have been announced in the last day for the WWE Hall of Fame. First off, it's gotta be it's Kane.
Yeah, about time, man. That's a very, very deserving nomination or a very deserving entry.
Yeah, absolutely deserving. I mean, brought to him on the bump by The Undertaker. I like what they're doing, because the NFL Hall of Fame, they have those videos where the guy that announces that you're going to be, coming into the Hall of Fame, he goes to your house, knocks on your door. This, you have maybe the closest person to you in, the business, maybe a person you worked with, whatever, something, significant. Undertaker called Kane on a video chat and said, "Hey, brother, I want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame." I love it. Fantastic.
Without a doubt, look forward to that speech.
Speaking of looking forward to a speech, what kind of speech do you think you're going to get from the great Khali?
I think it'll be very, very entertaining. Very.
Do you think he's inducted by Rajang Singh?
One would only hope.
The great Khali says he enjoys being here. Maybe.
So I don't know if you've seen any of the Great Khali's cameo. Great Khali is on Cameo, or he was a while back, and I will let you know. Great Khali, when I was watching his cameos, I believe he concludes almost every cameo with "The Great Khali loves you," and I'm hoping maybe we get a Great Khali loves you at the Hall of Fame.
That's fantastic. I absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay, let's shift gears. AEW. This is a smart move, I think. AEW plans on, they're already doing live Dynamites, right? They already have people in attendance. The week of WrestleMania, AEW is going to run a show, a quote-unquote house show at Daly's Place in Jacksonville on April 9th. So for wrestling fans that are in the state, it's a 3-hour drive from Tampa to Jacksonville. You want to check out some AEW? Come on up to Jacksonville.
I think it's definitely a smart move, and it is it's history too, because I believe JR made the comment, and going back, I think he's spot on. This is the first quintessential AEW house show, correct?
Yeah, they had plans to do it, and then the thing happened that shall not be named. So,
well, and it's like it's almost like when Impact went live in 2008. WrestleMania weekend. That was the first live. Yeah, the first live Impact. This, in a lot of ways, is the first non-live AEW show.
Yeah, I was there, and I was there for the live Impact in Chicago on Monday night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That very brief Monday Night War we had circa 2010, right?
Yeah, that was the Sears Center, I believe. But no, I was there for the Thursday night show where they went live, and the Highlanders got broken up in WWE the exact same night.
Oh my goodness! Oh my!
You remember why, right?
Yeah. No, he was there. And when he saw that camera on him, he hit his face, but it was too late.
Yep. I'm Robbie. I'm fired. Yeah, unfortunately. So, Yeah, Highlanders moved on there, but yeah, the show that we went to down at the Sears Center, uh, lots of good stuff going on there. Got to hang with Billy Corgan, Dixie Carter. Hogan was on the show on crutches that night, I believe, as well. So all good stuff. Yeah, packed house too. Holy smokes! But they taped 2 nights worth of Impact there. By the second night through the end matches, oh my God, it's you're at 4 hours plus now
Yeah.
of resting. It's time to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. So let's talk AEW and let's talk Dynamite from last night. Johnny Hungy getting a title shot against our boy Darby Allin. Stinger came out to make sure that there were no shenanigans. The Dark Order had started to interfere a little bit, but really no attacking of them. At the end of the match, after Darby Allin wins, Matt Hardy, Big Money Matt, and his, what is this group called now? It's the House of Hardy or something like that.
Matt Hardy's collection of very business savvy individuals.
Incorporated, LCC, LLC, syndicated, and
Esquire.
Esquire the third. Yep. So I liked it. It was again, Darby Allin wins and retains. Good match. Here's the highlights that I want to talk about. Kenny Omega obviously wrestled at the beginning of the match, or the beginning of the night, against Matt Sydal. If Sydal wins, he gets a future title shot, right? So Omega wins, but Omega came out after the trios match. Is this the first time they called it a trios match? After the trios,
I've heard them reference trios before.
Okay, so after the Bucks lost to the Lucha Brothers, Omega got up in the Bucks' face and said, "Put him up, hard camera, let's go." Is that the end of being the Elite? Is that the end of the AEW version of the Bullet Club?
It's very possible, but I enjoyed that segment because we got a little bit of a different Kenny Omega than we traditionally have gotten week to week on Dynamite, and that we got just a couple of nights ago on Impact, and a different Kenny Omega than we saw in the opening segment. I thought this was very interesting and intriguing, and it very well might be the end of the Elite, but this was interesting to me.
Dasher backstage interviewing Christian Cage, hanging out with the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin, interrupted by Frankie Kaz. And apparently next week, Christian Cage will have his AEW debut match against Frank E. Kazarian. Your thoughts on Frankie and Christian?
Fantastic use of both guys. Really interested in it. I think it's going to be a really good first match for Christian, and a really good use of Frankie Kazarian. Him doing the singles thing since his tag team partners was nowhere to be found last night.
Next week, we're going to get a match between QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes. Cody's friend. Do you have any investment in this? Because I'll tell you, I personally do not.
I actually do. I'm really intrigued by because here's the thing, QT's just kind of been in the background the whole time, and we really haven't really seen anything in AEW storyline for QT other than his brief relationship with the Bunny that was very short-lived and never really explained. And we really
Bunny's out there bouncing around too.
Yeah, we really haven't seen him in any high-profile matches.
I should have said hopping around.
Yeah, there you go. But man, no, actually, I'm kind of I'm kind of intrigued by it. So yeah, I am actually really digging this.
Okay. The Pinnacle defeat the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., and Dante Martin. Great promo. You got talk from Dax the Axe. You got talk from Cash. You got talk from MJF. And what was the tagline at the end? Because when you're the pinnacle,
you're on top.
You're always on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the button at the end. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, no, this is such a great looking stable. And, it's putting MJF in the forefront. It's giving us back that impactful heel MJF. And I think everybody now in that stable is the better for it. And what I really liked last night was, FTR. They've been kind of just hanging around. And my goodness, they are back, in a big way. This is such a good move. Dynamite, since last week, basically you had to show after the pay-per-view, which in a lot of cases was Damage Control. But ever since that, last week and last night, I feel like this is potentially a reset or a different chapter for AEW.
Yeah, because I thought they were kind of spinning their wheels the last few weeks, to be honest with you. Let's talk NXT, who kind of have been spinning their wheels as well, but in typical WWE fashion, they've got 3 weeks left to get these shows going. Yeah. Last night, they got business set up. They are setting up NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver matches. The show opened up with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Io Shirai and Zoe Stark in a tag team match. Io Shirai is still the champion, and I'm pretty sure that she's going to be going against Raquel Gonzalez one-on-one for the NXT Women's Championship. Winners of the match, Gonzalez and Kai.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzalez seems like a formidable foe, and I mean, this is the time of year. If they're going to make a title change, you typically have some title changes around Mania. They did say this was going to be the main event of night one, so I think there is a good chance that NXT Women's title changes hands, and I think that could be a good story to tell. You've got Gonzalez, who is, a very, she's got size on a lot of the competition, and that's really a story they haven't gone with in NXT for a while in the women's division. As this, this larger champion they're trying to take down, and I think that having that quote unquote monster. And I use that word very, very lightly. I mean,
you're talking about a bigger person.
She's quintessentially taller. Yes. She quintessentially towers above everybody else. But they paint her, in the fact that she's this, very hard to dethrone, heel. And I think that there is something to be said for, them potentially running with that for a while.
Okay. Bronson Reed taking on our guy, at least my guy, L.A. Knight. A promo by L.A. Knight saying that it's not an insult, it's a fact of life, that it's his game. Bronson Reed wins the match, and it was a long match. Yeah. Do you feel that this might be let's see how L.A. Knight handles losing and comes back stronger? Because he's going to be in that ladder match we're going to talk about in a bit, or that tournament.
Yeah, it's possible, or the fact that what is concerning is the fact that this guy's so good on the mic, this guy's got such a good gimmick, he doesn't need to win, and we've seen that before. I hope that's not the case, and I hope it's to kind of throw us off the scent for potentially what they do. With that, I believe it's a battle royal next week, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. So, Danny Burch suffered a separated shoulder last week, which is leading to the NXT general manager basically vacating the tag titles. So it'll get set up. It's going to be MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus Grizzled Young Veterans, the winners of the Dusty Cup are in there. You got Grizzled Young Veterans, who are in the finals 2 years in a row, and Legado del Fantasma in a triple threat tag team match at TakeOver to crown the new NXT tag team champions. Karrion Kross one-on-one with Oney Lorcan because his partner's injured, so he needs something, and he was injured during the match with Karrion Kross. So more so the story is Karrion Kross and Finn Balor face-to-face afterwards. You interested in this match? I mean, because Finn Balor makes some great points about how, you fight with emotion. I'm cold about it. So when you're struggling with it, I'm going to put you in the water. I'm going to drown you. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I think this has the potential to be an absolute phenomenal match. Balor's had a great NXT run. I think he has really restarted his WWE career, and we know how Kross was booked prior. I mean, he was the former champion. Balor most likely would not be in this spot right now in this NXT run had it not been for Kross's injury. I'm enjoying the build, and I'm really looking forward to this actual match and the outcome of the match.
All right, so North American champion Johnny Gargano is going to take on the winner of this. It's a 12-man gauntlet eliminator battle royal taking place next week. Jake Atlas, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Leon Ruff, Austin Theory, Dexter Lumis, Tyler Russ, Kushida, Cameron Grimes, Ted Moon, Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong, Bronson Reed, and L.A. Knight. Now, the final 6 will be in the eliminator gauntlet, and their order of elimination will determine the gauntlet order. The winner will challenge Gargano on TakeOver Night 2. So there you are.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways this can go. And the first way is I hopefully by the time this happens, I'll understand this match.
Well, the last 6 remaining in the Battle Royal will then battle the Battle Royal, and then the winner gets to go into the.
I got you. Okay.
Competitors come in every 3 minutes afterwards. Be the last person. It's like a mini Battle Royal.
Yeah.
All right.
This will be interesting. I mean, I don't necessarily know a heel's winning this. I think with Gargano having the title, it's probably going to be a face, but I don't know. This thing's wide open.
Who's the face in this tournament to win it? As I look over this, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Leon Ruff,
no,
Dexter Lumis.
You know what? Maybe it's made for Lumis. It might just be Lumis.
Roderick Strong.
Nah, I'm thinking it's Lumis.
Okay. I mean, it could be Bronson Reed, but Dexter Lumis seems to be the odds-on favorite in my eyes. But I mean, tell you what, give me some more. Give me some more Cameron Grimes. Kiss my grits.
The quote-unquote face Dexter Lumis, who's driving around in this white van, chloroforming and kidnapping people.
Yep.
Yeah. You put that on a lunchbox.
Yeah, there you go. And just have him stare at the lunchbox. Walter. We haven't seen Walter compete in the NXT on the States side in a while, but he took on Drake Maverick. And really, this wasn't about him taking on Drake because this was a squash. What we got was Grandpa Ciampa talking about taking on Walter for the NXT UK Championship at TakeOver. I like it. Grandpa Ciampa's got something new to go after.
Yeah, this is going to be – I think this is going to be the match that takes over TakeOver.
Pun intended.
Yeah. Now, I think is as good of – I mean, and we're going to get to one that was disclosed at the very end that I think is going to be a show stealer as well, too. But this has the potential to be a top-tier match that NXT can hang its hat on.
NXT Women's Tag Team titles, Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah taking on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, the champions. Moon and Blackheart retain. Cameron Grimes approaching Roderick Strong in the locker room last night to say, man, I think it's a shame. You know what? You should let me purchase the IP of this. I'll take it to the moon. Get some new T-shirts, some new socks, some new underwear. That's not how you do business. Fantastic. Let's talk Jordan Devlin and Kushida, but really let's talk Jordan Devlin going face to face with the other cruiserweight champion and having Shawn Michaels come out and just throw a ladder in the middle. I would assume now that their cruiserweight championship match will be a ladder match.
Yeah, and hopefully you go full-fledged Shawn and Razor and hang both belts, because when you've got a dispute like that, you need to go retro. You need to go back to...
And that's why Shawn threw the ladder in the middle.
Exactly. One of the originals. Hang both of them. I mean, that's the... and I know you had ladder matches prior to that, but the first high-profile ladder match, WrestleMania 10, it was a dispute over those two Intercontinental titles.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm really looking forward to a one-on-one ladder match. As many ladder matches as you see, it seems so very rarely do we get just a one-on-one ladder match. And I think that, it's a shame because the psychology, the story you can tell there, it's so easy for it not to devolve into a spot fest where, you've got your two people taking turns and everybody else playing dead on the floor.
Playing dead on the floor bugs the ever-loving piss out of me.
The psychology, when you...
Like in the Kenny Omega segment from Dynamite last night where Omega's going after the Bucks, the one Lucha Brothers got to play dead in the ring.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you, as far as just overall psychology and suspension of disbelief last night, what was really, really evident to me, the spot in Omega's match to open the show where he's going for the V trigger while his opponent is not Evan Bourne. Come on. I'm drawing a blank.
Evan Bourne. Matt Evan Seidel Bourne.
Yes. While he's up on the top rope, Kenny Omega runs backwards for about 3/4 of the length of the ring, then proceeds to run and hit the V trigger on Seidel while he's just sitting there. I mean, he's got like 15 seconds while Omega, backs 3/4 of the way across the ring and then runs. It's just, not playing dead on the floor, but just a very, very extremely telegraphed spot. But yeah, no, the psychology of a one-on-one ladder match, I'm greatly looking forward to it.
So finally, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole face to face on opposite ends of the table on the stage with security obviously staggered out behind them. I wanted to hear this, but on the other side of the coin, when Adam Cole's about to sign, he grabs the mic, goes, "Let me tell you a story." I went, ugh. Am I wrong? I mean, I wanted to hear it, but I'm like, okay, he's going to say, "Let me tell you a story." Ugh.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
He's winding up. Yeah, he's winding up. But yeah, I thought it was fun to end the show, and they have really, they've moved the needle a lot in the last couple of weeks to get us ready for these 2 nights of TakeOver. And I'm feeling like, even when you're gearing up for just a single night TakeOver event, there still seems to be feel like there's a good amount of filler on NXT these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, everything is on that show to really serve a purpose. And these matches that they are booking for TakeOver, they've got some very, very intriguing matchups.
Okay, so here's TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, Night 1 and Night 2. So far confirmed, Night 1, Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez. NXT Tag Team Championships Triple Threat, MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, Legado del Fantasma, and the Gauntlet Eliminator to determine the number 1 contender for the North American Championship. Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Kushida, Leon Ruff, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory, Roderick Strong, LA Knight, Isaiah Scott, Pete Dunne, Tyler Russ, Jake Atlas. Also, Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. Night 2, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross. Unsanctioned match, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. Johnny Gargano versus the winner of the Eliminator. So they get a night rest, is what it looks like. NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Jordan Devlin for Santos Escobar.
That's 2 nights of loaded action right there.
PWR Draft, Night 2, we'll get Finn Balor and Kross. Those are owned by people. Adam Cole on a team, Kyle O'Reilly not on a team. Gargano versus somebody, and as I look over the the Eliminator, I don't think anybody has anybody in there. And then nobody has anybody from the Cruiserweight Championship match. So those are 2 solid nights. Night 2 exclusively on the Peacock.
We are about to come into a lot of wrestling here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's coming. And we got a lot of coverage from a PWR Today standpoint as well. So we are done. It's Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. We'll wrap up the week. So for Matthew Thomas on the Manly Call Meeting, hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.